the SVLG Annual Forum segment, The Innovations of Lab 126 with Dr. Ken Washington is brought to you by Amazon. Enjoy.
It's my pleasure to welcome our next speaker and our next program segment. All of us know Amazon, but few know about the magic that happens at Lab 126. Many of Amazon's most popular innovations, including the Amazon Kindle, the Fire TV, and Fire Stick, and the Amazon Echo, are the result of the tireless work that takes place at Lab 126 in Sunnyvale here in Silicon Valley. I'm excited to introduce the man who helps foster that innovation. Ken Washington is Vice President of Consumer Robotics at Amazon, and he's here to discuss the nature of creativity and design and how Amazon and Silicon Valley turn blue sky thinking into the products of the future. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ken Washington to the stage.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here. I would like to start by sharing with you a little bit about my background and my journey to Amazon. I joined Amazon a little over a year ago, but my journey to Amazon began when, because I'm an engineer by training, that's probably not a surprise to you, but I began my career as a practicing nuclear engineer doing all kinds of various technical jobs for a national laboratory called Sandia Labs. And ultimately, I became their chief information officer. I then went to Lockheed Martin, where I was asked to be their first chief privacy officer. Then I moved to their space systems group, and I ran their space research lab and designed rockets and payloads for space and satellites. Then I went to Ford Motor Company, where I was the chief technology officer, building the next generation of vehicles, and it warmed my heart to hear all the dialogue about electric vehicles because we worked on that when I was there. So I'm sharing all this with you because there's something all of these roles have in common. They all involved complex technological challenges, they all involved solving really hard problems, and they all involved dealing with autonomous systems and putting the products that we created and built in and around and with people. So they had to be done with an eye toward privacy and security. That was perfect training ground for me to come to Amazon when I heard that they wanted to build a home robot that would be invited into people's homes to help give them peace of mind, to be companions, to be a delightful member of their family with their kids and their pets. So I came to Amazon to help bring that vision to reality. And late last year, we launched Astro, our first home robot. Astro is intuitive, it's proactive, it's intelligent, and it's personalized. These attributes make up what we call ambient intelligence at Amazon. Ambient intelligence is a way for technology to be in service of people, not the other way around. Let me double down on that a bit. When I say it's intuitive, think about products like the Echo Alexa device. You just plug it in and you talk to it. There's no manual, you don't have to figure it out, it just works. When I say proactive, I think about my Ring doorbell. I can be in my office or watching a movie, and if someone comes to my front door, it tells me that they're there. I don't have to watch my porch waiting to see if someone comes. And it's personalized. My Astro robot greets me by name in the morning when it sees me. More importantly, it greets my wife by her name, and it reminds her how beautiful she is. Ambient intelligence is there when you need it or want it, and it fades into the background and disappears when you don't. This is truly magical. But let me take a step back and trace the steps back to where did this all begin? It all began right here in the heart of Silicon Valley with the creation of Amazon's Lab 126. It started when a group of leaders at Amazon, including Jeff Bezos, asked the question, should we reimagine how people experience reading books? A Silicon Valley veteran by the name of Greg Zur, who, by the way, was the man who recruited and hired me into the company, was given this challenge. He built the team, and Lab 126 was born. And a little bit of Lab 126 trivia. The 1 in Lab 126 represents the A in our logo, with the little arrow going to Z, and the Z at the 26 represents the Z. I didn't know that either before I joined the company. So Greg and the Kindle team set out to create a device that was so integrated with the service of delivering on behalf of the people, its customers, the ability to read books seamlessly anywhere. They set out to do this so well that when it launched in 2007 with 90,000 ebooks, it sold out in 5.5 hours. They clearly hit the mark. We didn't stop there. We've continued to innovate, again, leveraging the Silicon Valley ecosystem that we've heard so much about today already. Those innovations have led to some other amazing products that many of us, probably all of us, have used on a regular basis. Devices like the Alexa Echo devices. I personally have 13 of them in my home. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. Fire tablets, Fire TVs. We've even reimagined the Kindle with our recent announcement of the Kindle Scribe, where you can not only read with the Kindle, you can now also take notes on it. And you take notes with a pencil, a digital pencil, doesn't take batteries, you don't have to figure out how to use it, you use it just like you would a pen. So again, this notion of the technology not getting in the way, in fact, it's not even there, it just works. And of course, the Amazon Astro robot is the latest innovation that we've recently announced that embodies this notion of ambient intelligence. So how do we go about inventing, and how does this work at Lab 126? I want to talk about that a bit. So Kindle and Astro and Fire TVs, all of these devices that we provide for our customers all have one really important attribute in common, and that is we start with the customer need or want, and we work backwards from there to invent in answering two simple questions. The first is, does anything like what these customers want or need exist? And secondly, if we build it, will it matter and will it serve their want or need? We asked that question when we went about building our first home robot, just like we do when we go about building any new device. I want to give you an example of that by talking about my smart home. I already told you I have 13 Echo devices, but I also have smart sensors, smart lights. I even have window blinds that go up and down automatically when I walk into my office. When I walk into a room, the lights come on. When I walk out of the room, the lights go off. When I close my garage door, the garage light goes off. I mean, I could go on and on. This is a real passion of mine. So, but most people don't have that. And why is that? I mean, it's because it requires a lot of effort to make all this happen. Our goal at Amazon is to bring this kind of frictionless ambient intelligence experience to all of our customers. It's very early days, but we're well on our way. So how did we start with Astro the robot? I want to double click on that a bit because it's a good example of how we service our customers by solving hard problems. As was said earlier today when some of the other speakers were talking, technology is often available long before it's been commoditized or made available in a way that scales. And the same is true for robotics. Robotics have been around for decades, but no one had figured out how to put one together in a package that could be invited into your home and that would work intelligently and proactively at a consumer price point that would work for any home condition under all lighting conditions. So we had to solve lots of hard problems to make that happen. But all of those hard problems were solved with an eye toward what would service our customers. And most importantly, how can we do this in a way that people would trust to invite it into their home and that we would earn and keep that trust? We took a privacy by design approach, just like we do with all of our devices in Lab 126. My experience as a chief privacy officer taught me the importance of offering customers choice, ensuring their trust, and being transparent. We do that with all of our devices. A few examples of how we did that with our Astro robot is that all of the vision processing and all of the navigation calculations and artificial intelligence computations are done on device and are not sent back to the cloud. We have a privacy button, just like we have on all of our Echo devices that we build in Lab 126 here in Silicon Valley, so that the cameras and the microphones and the motors are disabled if you push that button. You can define out-of-bound zones so the robot won't go where you don't want it to go. And there are many others, but in the interest of time, I'll move on. Look, the bottom line here is that the devices we build at Lab 126 are only possible because we've created this lab here in Silicon Valley, and we've created the right environment, and we've used our formula of working backwards from the customer's needs and wants, and we've done that in a way that services customers, not driving it from the technology first point of view, working backwards like we do with everything. Ambient intelligence, we believe, is the future of smart homes. We believe it's the future of devices and how people get value from those devices in their homes. By having these kinds of capabilities, we can make people's lives better. We can make them more secure. The breakout feature for Amazon's Astro robot is home monitoring. My Astro robot is monitoring my home as we speak because I'm not there. And so if I was not giving this speech, I could pull out my smartphone and take a look at my environment in my home. And only my smartphone can do that because of the privacy control we built into the system. So these are the features of ambient intelligence that we think is going to create the future of the tomorrow that will make our lives better. But it's very early days. There's a lot of work that we need to do, and thankfully we're here in the exact right place, which is Silicon Valley, a place like no other where we can innovate and create products like Astro, Fire TVs, Kindle Scribes, and so on and so forth. It's very early days of this new paradigm of ambient intelligence. I like to think of it as the next inflection in computing. The first one was computers that filled the entire rooms. Then they got smaller and we typed on keyboards and had monitors in front of us. Then we introduced graphical user interfaces and mice and screen pointers to interact with the computers. Then we added voice, so you could talk to your computer. And in some cases, we even added gestures. This next revolution, this next new paradigm is we're just going to do it for you when you need it and when you want it. It's going to fade into the background. It'll be invisible. It'll just be there. It'll make your life better. Not everyone has a smart home as connected and as electrified as mine, but one day you will, because this is still day one.